Hey guys, welcome again, and we're taking you with us to Fort Donelson. When we were in Paris Landing, we saw Fort Donelson. It wasn't too far down the road. It's like 1 mile west of Dover and 3 miles east of the land between the lakes. Anyway, just wanted to show you what we had seen there. There was a visitor center. It was really cool. I wish we could have spent more time. Um, these are the trenches. They're all the way down the side, the right wing trenches that were still there to this day. So I want to believe that they were there from the beginning, from the beginning, and not somebody had redone them. So what you're seeing now is the inside of the visitor center. It has lots of information on the battle at Fort Donelson. It also has a lot of artifact in there too. It was really cool, very informative. Um, these are talking about poop turtle ironclads, and the cannonballs couldn't penetrate it. So 32-pound solid balls that couldn't penetrate that, which is, I think, really neat. The artist in here, what they had done is really incredible. And I don't know why that picture, the one that we just showed, touched my heart. It made me super sad. So this is artifact from that time. So I just wanted to show you a picture of inside. It has a gift shop and different artifact. And then we'll take you through Fort Donelson. And we're just going to touch on it. We could have spent a long time there. It was super hot, so we were kind of in and out. There's also, just if you're interested, there are two trails there. One's a 3-mile river circle trail, and the other's a 4-mile Donelson trail. Both begin and end at the visitor center there. And then this display is showing that women from that time, and this was one of the big, they were just regular housewives and just wanted to do their patriotic duty and go and help and become nurses. So it says, because they fought against the United States, Confederate dead were not reburied in the National Cemetery. This monument, erected by the United Daughters of Confederacy, is a memorial for those men. It was dedicated in 1933. We're here. Our unknown dead will lie forever with arms in stacked forever with colors that cannot be furled. And those actual trenches that I showed you at the beginning all the way up. Look, all the way. So I was just reading, there was a lot of wood structures like huts. I don't know if you can see this deer out in the field over there. But they said once the Confederacy won the war, that they burned all of the huts that was here, the wooden structures that people lived in, due to measles outbreak. All that area in front of you is an eagle's nesting area. And then behind you, we are standing on top of the fort. It's an earthen fort to keep away from where people are entering the river. So this says it's the Upper River Battery. Can imagine actually defending this area with this. How cool. See what this says. It says gun positions. The 4 mounds in this section of the water battery are some of the first structures built to defend the river. The Confederates mounted 3 32-pound cannons here, but moved them before the gunboat attacked. From this position, they could not be effective against ironclads. So it's those. This is great. It is just talking about how the Tennessee and the Cumberland rivers were the main arteries to help all the economic livelihood for Middle Tennessee. And once the Confederates took over this area, they gave up, like Bowling Green had to evacuate and give up southern Kentucky and ultimately much of Middle and West Tennessee. The rivers became a vital federal supply line, and Nashville became a huge supply depot for the Union armies in the West. The Confederate heartland was open to federal invasion. This is the Upper River Battery. So next we're coming up to Donelson National Cemetery. This was probably one of my favorite parts. I could have stayed here for hours just to see everything. But in July of 1862, Congress passed legislation giving the President of the United States the authority to purchase land for cemeteries for soldiers who shall die in the service of their country. So this one began, and there was 512 unknown soldiers that were buried in the battlefield, and it says unknown on there, which is really awesome. In this now, the final resting place for Union soldiers and sailors that were initially buried in the Fort Donelson area. Today, this cemetery contains both Civil War veterans and veterans who have served in the United States since that time. So it is laid out beautifully. All these circles, they kind of show you a diagram at the beginning on the little plaque at the beginning of how it's laid out, like an aerial view. But man, this thing is just gorgeous. I could have spent a lot of time here. The muffled drum said, "Roll has beat the soldier's last tattoo. No more on life's parade shall meet that brave and fallen few." That is amazing. This is so pretty. So sad, so deep. A lot are just unknown. Look at this. That is so pretty. Some people here up towards the center there, it says 2000. One's 2015 that died. Then some are really older. Anyway. Thought this quote was cool. It says, "Come on, you volunteers. You volunteered to be killed for the love of country, and now you can be," by Charles F. Smith, which is a general. That's powerful. And then Buckner here wrote, "During a contest of more than 2 hours, the enemy made repeated attempts to storm my line, but artillery and musketry fire repelled the attempts and finally drove him to seek shelter behind works he has taken in irregularities of the ground. This is talking about February 15th, 1862. They had driven back, the Confederates had driven back the Union soldiers into the ravines behind us, and they were thinking about, it was cold, wet, that kind of thing, and wondering about fighting again in the morning. It says, unfortunately, in the morning, just after daybreak, a bugle sounded in Fort Donelson announcing the Confederate officer that the Union has taken over this area. That's cool. Look at that. That's so cool. That's so cool. Let me see. That's so cool. What about those big ones we have at home?
I don't know. I was looking to see what's in it.
Oh, look at this. That is so cool. Look at this thing. What is this one? Do you know?
What's that? I'm not sure.
Their display is awesome.
It's cool. They made it.
I know.
That resin.
Isn't that cool?
They mixed it there.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that sweet? So this is the backside of the wildlife refuge.
That's pretty cool. And so it didn't. Can't see.
The osprey nest has 3 babies in it. Sharon? It's buzzing. I like that sound though they make. So this is the observation deck area. That's just the information board before. Big Sandy Unit is the area we're in. Looks like they're closed from November the 15th through March the 15th. Looks like they were established in 1945 and manages 51,000 acres with 300 species of birds. There's also 2 trails here. Their trails are closed November the 15th through March the 15th. One's a half mile and one's 2.5 miles. So we'll definitely be coming back for that. It also looks like canoeing and kayaking at the nearby Swamp Creek Bay. I tell Mike we need to bring our binoculars, but look, they have free viewfinders here. This is really pretty. Off the main road, it's about 7 miles, I think it said. There's another viewer. They have one down low for kids, one tall. And then this is the migration pattern for waterfowl. So this is at Big Sandy Wildlife Refuge. And we have been on this gravel road for, what would you say, like 3 miles?
It seems like it or longer.
And it goes all by the river, and then there's another osprey nest up here. This is what, the fourth one we've seen out here?
Yep.
Or the fifth
That's
one?
cool.
And there's actually a mama bird or daddy bird on there. So this is going to end down in the water over here. It looks like people are fishing, if you're interested. Got a cornfield on one side. We've seen an observation deck, and then also the center for Wildlife Refuge. That is a gorgeous day. And then across the river, that is the Wildlife Refuge we were at a few minutes ago. So that road goes all the way around. So we turned off the road, the main road, and it's still the same kind of road. And Mike's pretty sure that we're just going to this house up here. We'll see. We'll see. We hope that it takes us out. But we said we were going on adventures today. So adventure it is. But it's so pretty. There's a cornfield on each side.
It looks like it goes to a paved road.
Yeah, it is a paved road up here. So anyway, that's good. We're going to find our way out. Not lost in the cornfield forever. But it was gorgeous, and I would highly suggest coming to visit this if you're anywhere close to Paris Landing.